People often mistake being nice for being good, but there is a massive difference between the two. When you are too nice, you aren't actually practicing virtue. Instead, you are likely being harmless because you are afraid of conflict, or because you have a deep-seated need for external validation. This is a trap that many people fall into without realizing it, and it is a path that leads directly to resentment, exhaustion, and a life that feels like it doesn't belong to you. Stoicism offers a much better alternative, which is the pursuit of kindness combined with strength. Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus didn't teach people to be doormats. They taught that your character is your most important possession, and you cannot protect your character if you're constantly letting other people walk all over it just to keep the peace. If you look at the way Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journals, which we now know as the Meditations, he constantly reminded himself that he would encounter difficult, ungrateful, and selfish people every single day. He didn't tell himself to just be nice to them so they would like him. He told himself that their behavior was out of his control, but his own reaction was his responsibility. Being too nice often means you are trying to control how other people feel about you. You think if you do everything they ask and never say no, they will think you are a great person. In reality, you are just handing over your freedom to their whims. This is exactly what the Stoics warned against. If your happiness depends on the approval of others, you are essentially a slave to their opinions. In modern storytelling, we see this play out in characters who suffer because they lack a backbone. Take a look at how characters are portrayed in shows that deal with power dynamics and personal growth. Often, the protagonist starts as someone who wants to please everyone, but they only find their true power when they learn to set boundaries. The show, Better Call Saul, actually provides a dark look at this. Jimmy McGill spends so much of his early life trying to earn the respect of his brother Chuck by being the person Chuck wants him to be. He tries to be the nice brother and the diligent lawyer, but it never works because he is betraying his own nature to please someone who will never be satisfied. Stoicism teaches us that we must be honest about who we are. If you are being nice because you are afraid to speak your mind, that isn't kindness. It is a form of deception. You're wearing a mask to avoid the discomfort of a disagreement. The problem with being too nice is that it is often a cover for cowardice. This might sound harsh, but it is a perspective that many philosophers share. If you cannot say no, then your yes has absolutely no value. True virtue requires the ability to be dangerous or firm, but choosing to be peaceful instead. If you are peaceful only because you don't have the courage to stand up for yourself, you aren't being a Stoic. You're just being passive. Epictetus was a former slave who understood the value of internal freedom more than anyone. He argued that no one can hurt you unless you allow them to. When you are too nice, you are essentially giving everyone permission to hurt you, take your time, and drain your energy because you value their comfort more than your own soul. Think about the way relationships work in the real world and in the stories we consume. The person who always agrees with everything is rarely respected. In the show Breaking Bad, Walter White starts as a man who is walked over by his boss at the car wash, his students, and even his family. He is the definition of the nice guy who has repressed his own needs for decades. While his eventual turn to crime is not a stoic path, the catalyst for his change is the realization that being nice did nothing for him. It didn't protect him, and it didn't earn him respect. A Stoic would say that Walter's mistake wasn't his initial kindness, but his lack of self-respect. You can be a deeply good person who helps others while still maintaining a wall that people are not allowed to cross. Being too nice ruins your life because it creates a massive amount of internal pressure. You say yes to an extra project at work when you are already drowning. You say yes to a social event you don't want to attend. You let a friend make a disrespectful comment without calling them out on it. Each time you do this, you are telling yourself that your feelings and your time do not matter. Over time, this builds up into a mountain of resentment. You start to hate the people you are being nice to, because you feel like they are taking advantage of you. But the truth is, you are the one who trained them to treat you that way. You taught them that your boundaries are flexible and that your needs are secondary. The most stoic thing you can do is say no clearly and without apology. You don't need to make up excuses or lie to soften the blow. In the books of Seneca, he often discusses the value of time. He says that people are very protective of their money and their property, but they are incredibly wasteful with their time, which is the only thing they can never get back. Being too nice is essentially giving away your life in small 5-minute increments until there is nothing left for you. You have to realize that you cannot please everyone. Even the most perfect person in the world will be hated by someone. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome, one of the most powerful men to ever live, and he still dealt with people who plotted against him and spoke ill of him. He didn't spend his time trying to win them over by being extra nice. He focused on doing what was right. Doing what is right often makes people angry. If you are living a life where no one is ever upset with you, it is a sign that you aren't standing for anything. You are just blending into the background. To fix this, you need to start viewing your no as a tool for protection rather than an act of aggression. When you say no to things that don't align with your values, you are saying yes to your own life. You are reclaiming your energy so that you can actually be helpful to the people who truly matter to you. A person who is exhausted from being too nice to strangers has nothing left for their family or their own personal growth. This is the irony of the nice guy syndrome. By trying to be good to everyone, you end up being mediocre to the people who actually deserve your best. Stop worrying about being liked and start worrying about being respected, starting with your respect for yourself. If you don't respect your own time, why should anyone else? If you don't respect your own opinions, why should anyone listen to them? The next time you feel that familiar urge to stay silent or to agree just to avoid a small moment of awkwardness, remember that you are trading a piece of your character for a fleeting moment of comfort. That is a terrible trade. A Stoic knows that character is the only thing that cannot be taken away from you, so stop giving it away for free. The path forward is one of discipline and clarity. It requires you to look at every interaction through the lens of your own principles. If being nice requires you to lie or to sacrifice your well-being, then it is no longer a virtue. It is a vice. The world does not need more people who are pleasant but empty. The world needs people who are strong, reliable, and honest. By embracing the Stoic way, you stop being a leaf blown by the wind of other people's expectations and start being the rock that remains steady regardless of the storm. This transformation isn't easy, but it is necessary if you want to live a life of true meaning. If this resonated with you and you are ready to stop letting your own kindness be your weakness, make sure to subscribe to the channel and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. It is time we start valuing strength and integrity over the shallow label of being nice. I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever felt like your inability to say no has held you back or led to resentment in your life? Let's talk about it below and help each other build a more Stoic mindset. Would you like me to expand on how to set these Stoic boundaries in your workplace specifically?